Welcome everybody back to the Sensible SENCO chat for this week. Amazing. It's not a thingy, no more thingies. This week we're going to be talking about bookings from Microsoft and how to actually use that as a bit of a calendar and
scheduling tool.
Scheduling tool. Thanks, Abigail.
You're welcome.
So we'll be looking at that, but first of all, I'd like to say Happy Mother's Day to all the SENCOs. Woo!
Because I are the mothers to all of those kids in the school, even if they're male. Just go with the flow.
Male mothers.
Male mothers.
Okay. So, yeah, because you look after hundreds and thousands of pupils and staff around the schools, you have that nurturing nature that goes out there and can really have an impact on the students that you look after. So, thank you very much from us to you. And I do hope that you did take some time off, though, on the Sunday.
Although we've just tried to work out what we're doing, but it's chucking it down with rain here, so we've decided we're probably not going to do an awful lot.
We'll do something. We'll go out and do something.
We'll go and eat something, probably.
We'll tell you all about it next week, hopefully.
Which, next week, we're going to look at...
Next week, we're looking at emails, task management within emails, and looking at your emails and going, how can I stop these thousands of emails coming through to me that have no relevance, except for the Sensible SENCO ones. Please do not block the Sensible SENCO ones. Yeah, we'll be showing you how to do lots and lots of management within your email system, including snooze, including rules, including flags, pins, everything else that you can do within your Microsoft email system. So, without further ado, I am going to leave it up to Abigail to take you through what the booking system is, and I'm going to go hide in the corner. If you stay to the end of this video, we will do a very short video on, very short video on what the studio is, and we'll show you around it, so you'll get a backstage tour. Okay, so I'm going to disappear now.
Good morning then. So back to just me and my screen, which you should be able to see. And you'll see I actually haven't set any bookings up on this particular account, so it's a fairly safe one to show you. This bookings works if you're only working with one email address. If you have multiple email addresses, like I do, it's not particularly fantastic because it doesn't pick up the information from other calendars accurately, is probably the politest thing I can say about that. So that's why I tend to use Motion, which we talked about in one of our previous videos, rather than using Microsoft Bookings. However, if I know that I'm only going to be booking it with one particular company, so for example my United Learning, when I'm doing my apprenticeship stuff, I know that that's only going to happen on Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday, I could just use my bookings link and do it that way, and that's definitely how we used to do it. Like I say, though, I've moved over to Motion now. So the video that's playing here is the one that you see right at the very beginning if you've never set up a bookings account before. It's just got a couple of slides on there and it will take us through setting one up. So first of all, it suggests to you to use one of their templates to start things up. There's a get started guide that comes up on the screen as well, which of course will be incredibly useful as we go through. So there are two types of booking. First of all, there is a personal booking page, which is the one I'm going to use with you. And then there is also one where you can book with members of your team. So if you are working in a multidisciplinary team where you're all pretty much based in the same organisation, you might want to use this shared booking page instead. I'm actually going to show you the personal booking page, which still allows you to invite other people and work things out. So first of all, one of the first things you have to do is to say what your office hours are. In other words, when are you going to be generally available for meetings? So either it's public, it will appear on the booking page, or it's private, only those people with a booking link can view this. So these are the two kind of options there. You can personalize this. Obviously you can put some text in. I'm not going to bother changing any of it, to be fair. I do mine via Teams, so I just leave that one clicked there, and then you can choose the length of that meeting and it can be customized. I'm going to leave it at 30 minutes. Just down here then, so you can have customized availability hours, you can set regular meeting hours, you can set it that it's only during a particular date range. If you're thinking, oh my goodness, what happens if a parent tries to book a meeting with me and it's the school holiday, what you actually do is you block that out in your calendar. So across the top of your calendar, you know, you can put an all-day event in. If you put this is half term, that will actually block you out and say you're unavailable anyway. So it's not going to pick that up. You don't particularly need to use this. This would be used more if you were, let's say you only wanted to run your meetings in a particular week during the year or a particular fortnight, then you would put it only during this date range and then put those dates in. So I'm actually going to remove Sunday. I don't fancy having anything bookable on a Sunday or a Saturday, just for the sake of doing this. And at the moment, it looks like I'm only available for 1 hour each evening from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. So I'm just going to change that on a Monday and make it from 1 p.m. and on a Wednesday. I'm just scrolling and randomly picking numbers here, and let's change it on a Friday as well as be available from 9:15. So you can change that, you can adjust it. You can actually add multiple availabilities. So if you are somebody who is available on a Monday morning, but then you have to travel across site, so you're not available for an hour and a half or something, and you're available again in the afternoon, if you click the plus button here, you can add an extra slot on that particular day. So that's how you do that. You also have the option of advanced options, so buffer time, if you want to have 15 minutes after each meeting so that you can decongest, I was going to say there, decompress the information that you've just had, or buffer time before a meeting so that you can prepare for it, and then you can limit that start time to 30-minute intervals. So what that does is it goes, I'm going to schedule these meetings at 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30, whereas if you did it at 15-minute intervals, it'll go 9 o'clock, 9:15, 9:30, 9:45, but then it books a 30-minute slot in, and then you end up with this kind of scattered timetable. Personally, I prefer to try and keep this the same as what I've actually set my schedule as at the top. So I've set a 30-minute meeting, so I want it on the hour and at the half hour as well. Again, just like you can with InMotion, you can set your minimum lead time and your maximum lead time. So in this particular case, I want at least 1 day's notice. I'm just going to change that to 2 days notice. You can customize it. And in this particular case here as well, I'm going to say I only want to do it 60 days into the future. So I don't want people to be able to have my calendar all the way up till Christmas. I just want them to be able to see the next 60 days to book something in. Lots of our parents, lots of professionals need actual reminders. Let's face it, we need lots of reminders. So you can get it to send email reminders out. So you just click here and you get it to send it. You know, do you want it to go out 2 weeks before, 1 week before, 30 minutes before, an hour before? And you just pop a little message in there as well if you want to. It will send them the link again for that meeting. So really useful for those people that tend to forget things. And you can add multiple reminders. So if I just add one in here, add reminder, and then just click Save Changes, and look, I can add another one that I want to go out a week before, and just put a reminder in there and Save Changes. So I've got 2 reminders going out, one a week before and one 15 minutes before. And then you can also do an email follow-up as well if you want to. Remember, we're setting generic settings here, so this is kind of what we want to happen normally. You can actually tweak things for individual meetings as well. I'm not going to have a follow-up email on this. What you do have to remember to do, which we seem to get out of the habit of doing with Microsoft products, is there is a save button, and it tends to float around the screen occasionally. Sometimes it's at the bottom, sometimes it's at the top. In this particular case, it's up at the top, so do remember to click the save button. In this case, that's the one that takes me out of this, and I've now set up my office hours. What you do next is you create a meeting type. So what type of meeting do we want? So I'm going to have a professionals discussion. I have no idea what a professionals discussion is, but let's go with it. You can tag it, so you can see I have some tags that I use for various things here. It's picked them up from my main account. I don't particularly need to tag this one, so I'm not going to, but you could add an extra category in there. So speech and language, education psychologist, parent. You could, if you remember when I talked about motion last week, don't put a child's name in here because we wouldn't want to display meeting about Fred for everybody to be able to see. You could actually tag it to the child if necessary. This message here, so at the moment it will go out and say book a time to connect with me. Let's just change it to say book a time to discuss the annual review. Oops, helps if you spell annual correctly. And I'm signed out of my Grammarly account, well done. This one allows me to just adjust that, so if I don't want a Teams meeting, I can change it and take it out and say it's a face-to-face meeting, so you can use it for both at the same time, and it will be a 30-minute meeting, and it is going to be public, so I do want it available on my general booking page, not just for people with a booking link. Of course, if I was doing it for Fred, then I would make it only the people with the booking link can then book that, so you can make a very specific link for Fred's meeting if that's what you wanted to do. Personally, I'm probably going to use it more generically, and it's a link that's available to Fred, Daisy, Gavin, whoever. Sorry, Gavin, whoever needs to book those meetings. Select your customization. So this one, remember, we set our meeting hours for it on the previous page, but again, I can customize it. So actually, if I need that meeting to take place within the next week, and I'm going to prioritize it over everything else because it's so important, I might actually want to go, actually, I'm going to give customized availability. I'm going to be available at 6 o'clock in the morning if this professional will meet with me. And then again, I've also got those advanced options where I can send out those reminders, and I might want to personalise some of those reminders as well for this particular scenario. This time I've got the save button, it's up at the top, so if I click save, and you can see it changed the name of this one here, so I've now got a professionals meeting there as well. You can create other meeting types, so let me just pop one in here. I'm going to spell parenting correctly. If I pop in a parent meeting, I'm going to leave it as that, location, and let's have it as a 1 hour. Again, I'll leave it as public, and let me just add that one as well. And you can see it adds that one in as well. It will put them across there alphabetically, so it does make it that little bit easier to see. Right, what do we do with that then? So there is a sharing button. This sharing button here gives you a link, and you can see it's got a little code at the end. So I could email this to somebody, or I can go and click that. And if I go and paste this at the top here, it has taken you to that actual bookings page. So it is looking at my availability. It's actually saying, hey, Abigail, you're not available on the 16th and the 19th and the 29th and the 1st. The 16th, because we're at the dyslexia show, the 19th, because I'm actually doing something else. But I'm looking at this, and you're available today at 6:30 p.m. So let's get you booked in for that professionals meeting. That is correct, because I didn't change the schedule for this one. It was looking at my normal office hours, not at the one that I changed. Gavin just turned around and gave me a look and said, you cancelled Sundays. I did, but I cancelled it within that other one, not within the one that I used for the professionals discussion. I could click on Tuesday, and I can have a look at those ones there, and it is as simple as they will then click on that, they click next, they say who it is that wants to book that meeting, so I'll get Gavin to book the meeting with me. Oops. It is not letting me get override that. Why is it not letting me override? Because I'm ticked into it. That's why I'm logged in. I'm logged in on my account, so obviously I can't override what I'm actually typing there. So I'd have to send the link to Gavin and get him to send it. And then any notes there, so anything they want to share with me, any extra information that they actually need for that. Right. Just to show you the shared booking page then, so I'm going to create a booking page for a shared group. So I'm going to put SEN review. Oh my goodness, I really can't type. Business type, you can choose a business type and then put education. Business hours apparently are Sunday through to Saturday, 9 AM to 5 PM. I can change that, so I'm not going to be available on a Saturday and a Sunday. Let's just have Monday to Friday. I can invite staff in there, so let's just invite Gavin to this as well. He could be an administrator, or he could be a team member. He could just be somebody who's able to schedule things, so you might use that if you've got an admin assistant, or maybe somebody in school reception is booking meetings for you. He could just be somebody that can view my schedule, so you might use that for SLT, or I can invite him as a guest. I'll let him stay in there as a team member for the moment. And then click next on there, and then I have to set up different services for different things. So service is a type of appointment, and in this particular case it's just giving me an office hours appointment, very similar to the one that we had on the personal bookings page. Who can book the appointments? So anybody can book it with a public self-service page is probably the one you're going to want to use, unless you want it that somebody has to phone up and talk to somebody in reception, in which case it would be people within my organisation. Or you could do it where only you can book it via an email or something, so you get an email in and then you book it and you click it here from that bookings page. So if you imagine that bookings is actually designed for every type of business, and the one I always imagine is the hairdressers, because for some some reason hairdressers always had those books and booking systems where you book things in. So if you can imagine a hairdresser, you would phone up and say, oh, can I have an appointment on Saturday? And they'll look on a booking system to find that. This is where that one would fit in. So it's no self-service. I can't go and book it, but they would be looking on the screen and booking me into it. So click create and they'll set up my booking page for me. It doesn't take very long, she said, and she's going to grab a gulp of tea while she waits. Okay, so it's set it up for me. It's given me my little warning up in the top corner. You can't see it, but it has just flopped up on my screen as well. And I have got here my Sen review at SENCO Solutions, bookings, /bookings. It's a really nice, simple link that I can then just add to my email signature. Talk about email signatures next week, that we can then actually use for various purposes. I'm just going to copy that link address to use it in a moment. So in terms of bits and pieces here, what you end up with then is a calendar, and you can actually see I've got my calendar here. I haven't got any bookings booked in next week. I've got the booking page that I can go and adjust. So on that booking page, you can actually customize it. So I can change it to a purple theme because, of course, my theme is purple, or I can change it to a nice bright pink because I like bright pink, or green. And you can add logos and bits and pieces to it as well. So it's just a really nice way to personalise that and make it clear that it's your school that they're booking it with, not you as an individual perhaps. You can change your scheduling policy, so you know that minimum lead time, maximum lead time. It's just the same as the personal page where you can actually gather that information and put those things in. And you can also make it that the person requires a one-time password to be able to create those bookings. Personally, I would avoid anything like that if you're asking parents to log in and do it, because I can guarantee they won't be able to remember which email address they actually registered with to actually do it in the first place. You can have an embed link, so if you have got a web page on your website and you want people to be able to book a meeting with you from there, you would use the embed link, and it gives you a HTML code that your data department, your IT department can then use to embed onto that website for you, and people can click and see your booking page from there. On the left-hand side here, it talks about customers and staff. So remember, it is designed for anybody. Your customers, I'm just going to discard my changes there. Your customers would theoretically be your parents in this case, or the professionals that you're working with. You can add them. That just means that when you have somebody books a meeting with you, you might know that a particular parent needs a translator. You might pop a little note in there to say, remember to book Polish translator, Romanian translator, whatever it is. Or maybe they need BSL, so we need to book the hearing impaired team to come in and support. Or you may want to just make a note about that parent. So perhaps they were incredibly upset after the last meeting. You just want to pop a note in there to remind yourself that you need to go back and address something. So there is the capacity to add those bits in there. You can add a couple of notes. Like I say, it is designed for multiple businesses, so it does get a little bit strange sometimes when it asks you for business things and parents, you know, date of birth, which you really don't need. Don't collect it. That would be a GDPR breach. You can also add staff. So in this case, remember, I added Gavin as a team member. So on this particular one, I've got myself. And it is saying that, well, this is me, this is my email address, this is how you can contact me, this is my calendar and my availability. Actually, I'm not available today according to this, so it's saying, you know, quite a bit of my time is actually already booked. That's why it says busy. It's not going to say what I'm doing at those times, because that's not for anybody else to know who's going into this booking system, but it is actually saying, you know, you've got quite a lot already booked, Abigail. These are, when we actually create a booking for you, this is going to clash, so you can't book it there. This one says tentative, so it says I could book something. And then we've got services. Now, I haven't actually assigned any services to me. I'll show you how we do that in a moment. And then on Gavin's, I can do the same thing. So Gavin also looks like he's busy. That's because he's driving tomorrow, so he'll have a great big chunk of busy, and he's got a good chunk of away time as well. But he has got some odd gaps lurking around, and if I move across, I might find something else. Oh, look, Wednesday morning looks like it's free. I can go and grab his Wednesday morning and book something in for him there. Okay, if I go to services, so remember we only have our general office hours at the moment. I haven't added any additional services to this. So I'm going to add a new service. I'm going to call that service, let's do it again, we'll do the parent meeting. I put a description in. It's going to be an online meeting. Do I want to send an anonymous meeting link to somebody? So that makes sure that they're anonymised, so they don't join it from their organisation. You can't see who that is, so that's quite useful if you've got a parent who's joining from work, but they don't particularly want you to know their work information. I probably wouldn't mess about with it, to be honest. It's going to be a 30-minute meeting. Yeah, I want some buffer time, thank you. I'll have 5 minutes beforehand to remind myself what I'm doing, and then I'm going to have 15 minutes after to work out what's going on. We can ignore the price set. I'm pretty sure we're not actually charging anybody for doing this. And I can add myself some notes, so notes about this type of meeting. Minimum number of attendees. Well, yeah, it probably is going to be one person that we want to attend to that. We don't want people to book over it though. So if once you start changing that, if I put 4 attendees in there, then that could actually mean you end up with 4 people blocking that slot. So usually you're going to keep this to 1. One person is booking it. If they need to share that link with somebody, then they can forward it on. They can pass that link over. And then this one's really, really useful. So let the customer manage their appointment. So lots of parents, in fact lots of us to be fair, and professionals, will book something and then realise 2 weeks down the line that actually it clashes with something else, or something else has come up and they need to move it. Clicking this one puts a link at the bottom. It allows them to manage that appointment. It allows them to go in, click on the link and say, actually I can't make this appointment now, can I change it to this? And it will give them the alternatives that are available without you having to pass emails between each other about, can I rebook this, can I cancel that one, etc. Just really, really useful. So again, what you do is you click Save Changes on that one. There were some other options there, which I didn't actually click. If I just go back to it, there were things like my availability options. So, that 24 hours, 365 days. I'm just going to change that because I find that to be slightly too long. So I'm going to go 60 days. Bookable when staff are free, not bookable or customised hours. So if this member of staff is free, then it's going to let me book it on those ones there. Assigning the staff to it. So I'm actually going to say that we're both available for this type of meeting. That is the best way of doing this one. But if it was a meeting, let's say it's a professionals meeting and it's only myself that's able to do those, then I would only move myself across there and not Gavin in this particular case. You can add customised fields. So do I want their email? Yes, probably. Do I want their phone number? Maybe yes, in case I need to give a quick message to them. So let's say the internet's gone down, I want to be able to grab hold of their phone number and do something. And then any customised fields or customer notes. I probably wouldn't put the customer notes on there, but I might add a custom field, and it could be a question or it could be a drop-down question. So it could be, do you wish to discuss annual review? Is this about a behaviour issue? Is this a pastoral issue? Is this to do with learning support? And that might also help you to make sure that you've got the right information before that meeting. So do use that if it is useful for you. I'm not going to add one right now. And then that notifications one. So do we want to be notified about these? So you can, if you've got a premium license, I don't, you can send text notifications to that parent or whoever it is that's booking. Here you can send an email when anything is created or changed. So even though it sends it to my calendar, I like to have an email as well. There's just something about seeing it pop into my email. It makes me realise that that's then been added to my calendar. I know it sounds like a bit of extra work because I then have to archive that email, but it's that sense of security for me. It means I know it's there. It also means that when somebody phones me up and says I've booked it but I'm not sure because it hasn't come through on my side, I can confirm to them that they have actually received it. And if I need to, I can click the forward button and send it to somebody else or forward it to that parent again if necessary. And then this one, which is send the meeting invite to the customer in addition to the confirmation email. So sending 2 emails to them effectively, one with a meeting invite and one with the confirmation. Might be overkill, but actually I quite like to turn that on, because sometimes we know what computer systems are like. Sometimes one will go into the junk mail and the other one doesn't, for whatever reason. Sometimes parents miss them because they look at it and they think, what's that? That says bookings on it, not interested in that. I'm looking for something that says meeting, and they might have archived it by mistake or deleted it, or just missed it. Got those email reminders, so in this case it's going to send one out one day before. You can change that, so you click the edit button, and then again you've got that email follow-up. This one's going to send one and say, we appreciate your time, book your next appointment. Probably don't want that if I'm doing a parents meeting, but I'm going to leave it on there just for the sake of doing it at the moment. So if I click save changes, I've now set up that parents meeting one, and I've gone to my calendar. Oh, there we go. And I can see, actually, if I click on the staff one, it's got myself on there, my calendar and availability. But the calendar and availability for this actual one here, it's suggesting at the moment that it's available, that I could book anything here. Let's go and have a look though. So if I go and book appointment, and I want an appointment tomorrow, and I want it with Abigail, and it actually says, no, she's not available. So, oh, Gavin, you were available on Wednesday morning. Let's go and find you. So Wednesday at 9:30, and if you look, this has now changed to available, so I could book it with either Gavin or myself on that day, or even with both of us. This is me booking it as if I was an admin assistant booking a parent who's on the telephone or something. But again, if I just go and change that to, let's say, Monday, it says we're both actually busy at that time, 11:30. This is where you're having a conversation with somebody who's saying, oh, can I book it at this time? It's not the meetings page, and then you would create that booking. So if I just click create booking now with myself, it's probably going to say I can't. There you go. It's dropped it into my calendar. I can view that. I can check it. Got a message come up on my screen saying, hi, I'm not at my desk today, but never mind. It's telling me what that one was. I actually forgot to put the customer information in when I booked that a moment ago, so I haven't got a clue who this meeting's going to be with. Somebody will turn up though, I'm sure. And there's my meeting link for it. Okay, so if I now go back then to that booking page, and let's go and have a look at that booking page. So I have got, remember this is the Teams version of it, I have got office hours, or I've got parent meeting. So again, I'm going to click parent meeting. This one is select staff, so because we've got 2 of us available for this one, it will say available or not available depending what I've got clicked. So if I click the Wednesday morning, it actually says both of us are available at various times on that day, because it's on anyone. If I go and click on Abigail though, it will narrow it down to just the times that I'm available, and if I click on Gavin, it will narrow it down to the times that he is available. Got more slots where we're both available apparently. And then I can click on Monday, anyone. Well, I'm available at 10:05 apparently, but if I click on Gavin, he isn't available on that day. So, oh look, Gavin, you're free on Thursday at 9:05. Am I free on Thursday at 9:05? No, I'm free on Thursday at 4:05 apparently. So we wouldn't be able to do a meeting with both of us at that time. But if I clicked on either of those, it will say 9:05, but when I go further down, it will actually book it with Gavin because he's the only one that's available at that time. So if I come down there and pop in a first name and a surname, let's use one of the children. So Aidan wants a meeting with his mum, and I will just, because he happens to have one of our things. We don't need his address, and it hasn't got a star next to it, so he doesn't have to provide it. 0330 90974, which is our company telephone number, and then any special requests for that notes bit, and then he can click book. It spins around and it gives him his thing, so he can now, if he needs to, go back in, and I've got a reminder come up here, so it's telling me that he's booked it with Gavin because Gavin's the only one that's available. He can reschedule it, or he can make a new booking at that point as well. Thursday at 9:05. So if I go to staff and Gavin and calendar, oh, actually, if I go to overview, I can see that Aidan's got one. He's got an upcoming appointment there, and I can show it in the calendar and jump to it. and it was on Thursday, which is why I can't see it. And there's that meeting that's been booked in. And Gavin has now also got that in his Gavin at SENCO Solutions email address. That's gone to his main calendar as well. So it isn't just on my account here. It isn't just lurking on this screen. It is actually in his account as well. Can you confirm that, Gavin?
I can confirm that.
Sorry, you've got to meet your son on Thursday morning.
How terrible.
I know, it's awful. So it's just a really quick, simple, easy way of being able to pull that information, to put it all in one place, to be able to share those. So like I say, a shared booking page I think is probably useful. It's an easy way of doing that. You can just do those individual ones for yourself. I quite like that ability to pass it on to Gavin or give people the options of doing things. And certainly if I was working as SENCO within a school now, I think the shared booking page is probably the route I would go down, simply so that other people can help me to manage those bookings. That ability to add those different types of meetings, I have only actually added one type of meeting in this one, if you remember. I've only got in that services, that parents meeting, and then my general office hours. So I've got parents meeting for myself there, and I've got a parents meeting for Gavin here. The office hours one, we haven't got any upcoming appointments for it. You could set up different types of meetings. Like I say, you can have face-to-face meetings, but you're still using the online booking system for doing it. I think the biggest advantage of bookings is actually that it is included as part of the Microsoft suite. So you may need to get your admin to turn it on. I actually am the owner of our Office admin account, so I have that option. If you click, so let me just come out of totally full screen because I know what happens when I'm in there. When you're in any one of your things, so if I go to my OneDrive for a moment, which doesn't have anything I need to hide from you, up at the top here there's that wonderful 9-dot system. If you give that a click, and it's usually lurking down here, it's a kind of turquoise one with a B in it. You can also click explore all your apps, and if you scroll down on that one, you will usually find it lurking on here as well. You can type it into the search bar at the top and it will find it. If you haven't got it, like I say, talk to your admin within school and see whether they can add it. Like I say, I own the admin account, so I had to turn it on within the admin settings for Microsoft Office, and I know that as a teacher, when I'm in any of the other accounts that I don't own, I don't have this button. Gavin doesn't have this button. It's quite jealous sometimes that I can click it and he can't. So it does need to be somebody from the admin team to enable it for you. But once it's there, you just click on that bookings, and it brings up that booking screen, and from now on, because I've now set things up on it, that information is going to be there. You have got that sharing one, so you can share links, you can edit your signatures and things on it. You can create additional booking pages, so you could have multiple roles in school, so you might be a safeguarding lead and a SENCO. You might also be EAL lead, and you want to create different types of pages. If you are somebody who works in a school with a lot of additional languages and you are able to translate your page into a different language, so the information that you're putting out on this, then you might want to have multiple booking pages and then share the correct link with the correct parent, if you like. Please don't share a Romanian link with a Polish parent. They'll probably say I can't read this, but you may wish to do that to support your parents in being able to book those meetings. And then of course you would know that they needed a translator at sessions. Gavin, I think that is probably it. Do you want to come in and join me for a quick finalisation? And like magic, you reappears.
It's magic, isn't it? The magic of the movies, as they say.
Still got the mug of tea.
Still got the mug of tea. I haven't got coffee at the moment. So that was absolutely brilliant. I was kind of listening heavily onto it, and I thought, that's a really good idea. Make a web page, embed each of the meetings into that web page, and save yourself a load of emails and phone calls with parents, especially when you can then reschedule the follow-up to do it in a few months' time if you're doing the reviews with students. So you could actually remind the parent with the follow-up thing that that they need to actually book another meeting with you. Save yourself loads of time, Senkos.
Yeah, as we said, it's one of those business tools that until you start working in business, you don't realise it exists, and then you realise how helpful it is to the actual SENCO role. It's just like law, though, I suppose. We don't realise how much of the law we need to know until we're actually doing the role, or how much we need to be medical professionals to do the role. You also need to be a business professional as well, I'm afraid, and a finance expert. But it does make your life so much easier. Bookings didn't actually exist when I was working full-time as a SENCO in school. It's a relatively new product within the Microsoft range. I mean, it's certainly been there at least 4, maybe 5 years, maybe slightly longer than that, but it wasn't something that I had available to me, and I wish I had. I know a lot of schools have bought into scheduling packages for parents' evening, so they pay a lot of money for them, and actually I think they've missed a trick, because for a lot of schools who have got Microsoft, they could have just used Bookings.
Yeah, Bookings, just put it up for parents, even put your date in there that they can select.
Well, you would do a team, and you would put the staff in there for the, well, in fact you would do it my way. How I would do it, I would have a different booking link for each department. So you could book it with the science department, the English department, the maths department. Don't put all of your stuff on one great big long list, because parents would get very confused. So who do I need to book from the science department? List those staff out, put their availability into there. Parents go in and they book it, first come, first served. They need to change that appointment for whatever reason, they can do. Dead quick, simple, straightforward, and most of all, free. Included as part of your Microsoft package.
Yeah, free from the Microsoft package, definitely a good idea.
And because schools have a, probably what most people don't realise is that Microsoft Home package is different to the Microsoft School package, which is actually different to the Microsoft Business package. But in this particular case, the business and the school side of things for bookings is the same. So it is included in both of them.
Okay. There you go. So we hope that's been very, very helpful for you. And, you know, go out there, have a go, use it, set it all up. And then if anything goes wrong, get hold of your IT team. Yeah, get hold of your IT team and then make them fix it for you. Okay, so that is it from us today. We're going to have an enjoyable Mother's Day for the rest of the time, and we will feed back on that next week. Yeah, I know. You can hear the rain coming down at the moment. So, you know,
horrid.
Umbrellas, people, umbrellas for Mother's Day. And we're going to leave you with this video of a quick tour around the studio.
Studio, not the office.
Not the office, no, studio, people. So we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the SENsible SENCO Studio, as it is. And I'm just going to give you a quick check round to show you what it is like here in the studio. At the moment, it's like 2 degrees. I haven't got the heating on. So let's go round. Okay, ready? Hopefully this is going to work. Hopefully this is going to work. Right, let's go this way. So, first thing that you will notice is, except for the noise of the screw moving, is, you know, our garden's a mess, by the way, that way there. So you can see our garden out here. This is a studio. It's only a small studio. And this is where Abigail sits, of course, here. And that's the normal view that you kind of have of it. And then you can see here, as we come round, this is the view that Abigail has from the systems. So, you know, she stares at you through this screen here, and then she can check out anything that she needs to on this screen here. Now, when she's got her laptop and she's doing the demonstrations like she's done for the bookings one, she'll also have a laptop here which is connected. So it's a lovely system that we've got. And also you can see down here the little microphone. Oh, whoa! If I can get the camera to go stable. There's the microphone that she picks up on. Now, if you want to look at my area, you see, when I say that I've got lots of monitors that I have to look at, and the reason why I can't find emails, talk about emails, while we're doing webinars. So you can see there, that's my workstation. And yes, I do have my own camera, but I don't turn it on very often because it makes me look a bit weird. More than anything else, it's very high definition. You can also see here that we've got the board that you'll see me looking at every so often, where we keep the notes for our YouTube videos. Don't really do much for that webinars though. And finally, if you're always wondering what's actually in the background of our SENsible SENCO Studio, there you go. 2 owls. It's meant to represent me and Abigail. And then some of the cards and awards that we've got in the past. Anyway, till next time, bye-bye.